everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and it's pumpkin season, but did you know that it's also apple season? So right now in your grocery store, you can get bags and bags of apples for like $3, or maybe it depends on where you are really, but they're everywhere, just bags of apples. And I know that you're dying to know what to do with all these apples. So today I'm going to show you a recipe for what you can do with any type of apple besides like Granny Smith. Don't use a Granny Smith. But these are Fuji apples, and today we're gonna make apple butter in the deluxe cooking blender from Pampered Chef. Now, if you don't have a deluxe cooking blender, don't worry about it. I will leave other recipes in the comments for the slow cooker and the pressure cooker and even the stove. However, we're gonna utilize our deluxe cooking blender today, and I'm gonna do one better. We're gonna can it. Yes, we are. It only takes about 20 minutes to can, and then I will have apple butter to give away to all of my new friends here in Texas. So if you're ready for this adventure, I'm ready to share it with you. You ready? Let's go. Here's what you're going to need. 2 pounds of apples, cored and wedged, half of a cup of white sugar, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves, half a teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla or 1 vanilla bean, just the beans. All right, you guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to core these apples, and then we're just gonna get them sliced into chunks. So I'm gonna use the Pampered Chef's apple core. If you have not seen this work yet, it is fantastic. It is very easy to use. You just put your apple core right in the center of the apple and you twist, and then out comes the core, just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and core 2 pounds of apples. This is 3 pounds, so I'm gonna leave a couple of these off to the side. But you need about 2 pounds of apples that will fit inside your blender. All right, and just like that, our cores are all out. Now we're gonna slice them. If you have the apple corer and slicer from Pampered Chef or anything that's similar, you can definitely do that, but you might know that I just moved recently and I don't know where it is. So instead I'm gonna use the veggie wedger because it's the same thing, only it doesn't have a corer part in it. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but basically it's the same thing. I'm just gonna slice through all of my apples one by one. There we go. And I'll set it inside here so it will all come out. Look at that. All right, and once they're all in there, we're gonna add 1/4 of a cup of water. And now we are going to seal the lid. We are going to turn on the machine and we're going to get it started. So if you've never seen the deluxe cooking blender before, it is actually a pretty fantastic machine. I only do my jams in here now, and I do make soup in it as well. And here are the functions that it comes with. It comes with the smoothie function, the alternative milk, grind, heated wash, yes, it washes itself, soup, heated puree, jam, and sauce. We're actually gonna go to the jam setting. And the reason we're gonna go to the jam setting is because we need this to come up to the 220 mark before we add our sugars and our spices. So without further ado, that's it. So let's wait for this to get up to the 220 mark and then I'll be back. Okay, it has hit the 210 mark and now it says add on the machine. And that means it is time for us to add all of our sugars and our spices. So I'm gonna use my handy dandy funnel here, and we're just gonna dump all of our spices, both of our sugars, and we also need to put in some vanilla. Now, you can use some vanilla extract, but the beautiful Miss Betty Youngblood, who is a member of this channel, sent me these vanilla beans, and I was like, you know what? This is the perfect way to start off by using these things. I'm gonna slice a vanilla bean in half, clean out all of the seeds, and put the seeds inside this mixture, and it's gonna be fantastic. Betty, I am so excited that I finally get to use these. I've been saving them. This is from Vanilla Bean Kings. I've been saving them for weeks now because I needed the perfect recipe, and this is it. So we are going to cut our vanilla bean right down the center with a very sharp knife. And then we are going to open it up and scrape out all of those beautiful seeds. There we go. So here we go. I'm going to do the back of my knife. I'm going to scrape out the seeds. Look at all those beautiful seeds. Scrape out any of the remaining seeds that I have. And I think I've done a pretty good job of de-seeding that vanilla bean. Now don't throw this away if you're using real vanilla beans. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna chop it up and put it in some sugar and make some vanilla sugar with what's left of that, because there's still a lot of flavor left in there. Also, you guys wanna peek at my vanilla that I've been making over the last months? You won't believe how dark it is. It's beautiful. Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, oh, this smells so good. Okay, but before I show you the other vanilla, let's get this started again. So we're gonna replace this top, and then we're gonna push go again. All right, check out how dark this vanilla has gotten already. This is the one that is just being processed in the bottle like this, and I give it a shake every couple days. The one that I made in the pressure cooker is gone. All right, now this has to come back up to temperature to 210 to 220-ish before it is completely done, and that will take about another 10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, get your jars ready if you're gonna can any of this. So I have my sanitized jars all ready to go, my brand new lids, and I do have another lid here that is for the one that's gonna go in the refrigerator, because I don't need to actually can it. But I'm not exactly sure how much this is going to make. So I think I over-prepared, but better to over-prepare than under-prepare. Next, you're gonna need a pot of water with some kind of rack so that it will bring those jars up off the rack. And we are gonna wanna fill this pot with hot water and get it to a boil. And I don't know if you can see here, this has become dark and rich, just like we know apple butter to be. It smells fantastic in here. Now we just wait for it to come to temperature, which it is almost there, and this is about to start boiling. Now if you have a regular canning pot and everything, go ahead and use that. I don't know where mine is packed, or even if I brought it with me to Texas, I can't find it. So I'm just gonna use a regular stock pot. And I did measure to make sure that my jars went in and it was covered with at least 1 inch of water. These little jars are gonna take 10 to 15 minutes of processing time. Any bigger and you're gonna want to add some time. If you have a ball canning guide, definitely check that out for the final temperatures of the size of jar that you're using. You are also going to need some boiling water in which to drop your lids into. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop those in there so that they're all ready for us whenever we're ready, because this is almost at temperature and this is boiling. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover my pot so I don't lose all of my moisture while this is finishing up. This way to make apple butter, I mean, I know that I'm sitting around because I'm waiting for a video, but I could be doing 1,000 other things while this thing does all the work for me. Okay, it just ended, so let's check out. Now be careful, this is very, very hot. Let's go ahead and push cancel. Very, very hot, like liquid molten lava sugar. So it's still even boiling in there. Do you see that? Still bubbling. So we're gonna get it hot into these jars because that will help them seal a little better. So I'm gonna lift this off carefully, and we are going to get it into about, I don't know, right about there in the jar. And it looks like I actually needed 1 more jar. Imagine that. Oh, it looks like I could put a little bit more. That wasn't quite enough. Let's fill them up to like 1/4 inch, which is that first ring. There we go. All right, there we go. It made 4 of these little bitty jars. I don't remember what size they are. I'll put it right there. We'll go ahead and set that over to the side. All right, and then we're gonna take a cloth that has a little bit of vinegar on it, and we're gonna just wipe the edges where the tops are going to go on, because we don't want any bacteria on there whatsoever. So the one that I'm gonna put in the refrigerator, I'm just gonna screw this lid on like this, and I'll set that one off to the side. And then the other ones, so remember our boiling water and our lids? Yep, usually people who can have canning jar lifters. Woohoo, that's hot. I don't have one because I don't know where it is. So I'm just gonna take one out with my tongs, set it on down. Then we're gonna screw on our lids, just finger tight. Don't go too crazy. Woo, that is hot. And then we are gonna submerge them for 10 minutes. Make sure that when you put them in the water covers over it about an inch. And we're just gonna place them all right into our boiling water. And now we're gonna let that process for 10 to 15 minutes. Usually I turn it off about 10 minutes, let it sit for a little bit, and then get it out. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and cover it, and then 10 minutes will be like that. Okay, and once the 10 to 15 minutes is over, we're going to get this out and let it rest right on our towel here, undisturbed, for up to 12 hours, maybe 24, whenever I decide to move them. And there we go. So now those are just gonna sit there until they start sealing themselves. So you'll start to hear in probably 10, 20 minutes, you'll start to hear them go pop, pop, pop. As soon as they're all popped, you know that they have sealed successfully. In about 12 hours, if they have not popped as they cooled. So if that button is not down as they cooled, they need to be reprocessed for another 10 minutes, or safe is that you just put that one in the refrigerator and use it within the next 3 weeks. So we're just gonna leave them like this. And I thought I would show you what I am doing with the leftover vanilla bean. I cut it into mini pieces, and I have probably a cup of sugar here, and I will store it in this container for the next little while. It'll take a while for that vanilla really to penetrate all of that sugar, but then this will be some really awesome vanilla sugar that you can add to coffees, to teas, to anything else that you need vanilla sugar for. It's a great way to use up that extra bean casing that you're not going to use somewhere else. Let's check out the consistency of the one that's going to go into my refrigerator. It's cool, kind of to the touch, but not so cold that it's all congealed yet. As it cools, it will get a little thicker. But let me grab a spoon. Oh, did you hear that pop? I hope you heard that pop. One of these guys has popped. This one right here is for sure sealed, so good job, little guy. So here we have the apple butter. Look at how delicious that looks. Oh yeah, look at that. And you'll know it's the right consistency when you drop it into its container. It leaves a nice little circle, or like the trace is what we call it. So if it'll trace across and leave little marks, then you know it's the right consistency. So that looks fantastic. And now we are going to test it out. Remembering, of course, that I am not going to stick my spoon back in once it goes in my mouth. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and shut it. Oh man. Oh, using a vanilla bean in it makes all the difference in the world. Ah, that is so good. I cannot wait to use this on all the things that require apple butter. And one of the reasons that I decided to make apple butter is because I have another recipe this week that requires apple butter. So I hope you will stay tuned and enjoy this adventure with me. That's it, you guys. If you enjoyed that, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. So if you got one for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, join me in just a couple days for my next adventure with this apple butter. I didn't want to buy it. I wanted to make it myself. So that's what we're going to do. See you later. Bye.